If, like me, you're a bit of a LEGO nerd, you may have noticed that the amount of themes based on video games has expanded massively. So I thought that it was about time that I do what I do best: build giant non-canon battle mechs for them. And when I say video games, I don't mean movies that got LEGO games based on them, or even original LEGO games. Like, seriously, who wants a mech based off LEGO Island from 1997? Okay, I might have given in and built a mech based on LEGO Island from 1997. The character is called Pepperoni. That's Pepperoni, and it might just be the best thing I've ever built. Anyway, moving on. Instead of those, I wanted to base it on real video games that LEGO have the license to. So I took one character from 3 of the themes and turned them into something pretty cool. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. Animal Crossing is the latest video game franchise to be LEGOified, and if I can be completely honest, I've got no idea what this game's about. Like, I was doing some research to figure out which character to build a mech for, and all I could find was memes about this guy being some kind of crime boss or something. I don't know, I thought this was a kid's game. But then I kept looking through and saw a figure that was rather familiar. It's still a video game, it counts. Now, looking at the Animal Crossing characters, their legs are very stump-like, if that makes sense, so I couldn't use my typical joint piece, and also because that piece does not exist in bright light yellow. I instead resorted to building them out of snot bricks and wedges, meaning that they may look a little bit too tall at the minute, but that'll be quickly fixed. And that's because it'll be covered by the skirt. Now, I had to use quite an interesting technique for this skirt to be put together. That dark green piece you can see in the middle there is actually an upside down steering wheel, which can be found in a lot of the big car sets that LEGO puts out. It's also used to make a lot of the flowers in the botanical collection sets, and I was able to attach a bunch of clips that go around the side of this, which I then connected to a bunch of slopes, which create a really nice skirt look. And also you can see around the back I've got a tail built in there as well, although it's probably a little bit too thick. On top of the skirt you can see the bottom of what will become Isabelle's vest. Now this vest has quite a lot going on in quite a small space, so it was important to get all those colours and details in. Most of it consists of a checkerboard pattern in both lime green and regular green. The closest cockpit colour that fits the centre of the vest is actually the dark green one from the Boba Fett mech, and attached to it are some red pieces which represent the little ribbon that she wears. To represent the shaping of the sleeves on each side, I'm actually using a mudguard piece, which actually works really nicely. You may notice that there's still quite a lot of exposed studs on this mech, and that's because I had a little bit more tiling to do to finish off the checkerboard pattern on the rest of the vest. Oh, and add the arms as well, I kind of forgot about that. Again, they look very stumpy, but that's just kind of how the Animal Crossing character design works. So in the end, I just paired her with the iconic stop sign from her appearance in Super Smash Bros., which is still a fairly recognizable thing to go with her, whilst not using tons and tons of pieces. But there you have it, my Isabelle Animal Crossing mech. For my complete lack of knowledge about this game and franchise, I think it's pretty cool. So I guess the campaign is on to get this as an official skin in Super Smash Bros. Or we can just move on to the next mech. Okay, this one's kind of cheating. In 2016, LEGO released sets on the Angry Birds movie. You know, that successful Smash hit? I actually watched that for this video. It's not good. But it's based on an iconic video game, so I have to build a mech for it. As per usual, we started with the feet of the mech. Now, as this was a bird, I thought going for some bird claws made sense. Using the bright light orange colour, which is the same as used on the figure, you can see I created 3 little talons on each foot. But I made quite a bold choice on the legs of this mech by not going with the typical mech joint that I usually go with, just because it ended up making the mech too tall. I instead decided to go with this piece here, the macaroni joint. And yes, it did end up making this mech very, very wide, which you will see on the base. It barely fits on my platform. I really like how those joints fit into these big bucket pieces, which was a technique that I nabbed from this Mickey and Minnie set a couple of years ago. It works perfectly here. Fitting in our pilot, of course, had to be Red himself. Now, he was a bit of a struggle to actually fit into the mech. You may notice that I had to use 2 of the front chestplate armor pieces. One on the front and one on the back, with him kind of smudged in between them. This is because he actually doesn't fit if one's just straight on top over his shoulders, because he's a bit too wide, meaning I had to angle the front one so he actually fits inside. You know I love a good set of shoulders in my mechs, and this one's no different. I tried to incorporate as many sharp red pieces as possible to kind of give that feathered look, and you may notice on the back there's 2 jumper plates. Try and have a guess at what attaches to that at the end. My next step, of course, was to add the arms, and I know the character's name literally is Red, but I felt like the mech was getting a little bit too red, so I put another beak on the front just to give that nice pop of colour. And of course it's on theme. As for the arms themselves, exactly the same as before, super spiky, super pointy. I know birds have wings and not arms and hands. Hopefully all of the ornithologists don't come at me in the comments. A couple of more late additions with these eggs on top of the shoulders, and also I thought it'd be a good idea to give him a tail around the back, just like the minifigure. Now, I hope you got your guesses in for what's going on this guy's back. If you are a gamer like myself who played Angry Birds back in the day, you'll know it's all about the slingshots, baby. So I thought, why not just give him a giant slingshot on his back? Of course, none of these are meant to be canonically accurate, and I thought this was just a fun way to incorporate a very big part of the game. So just built out of dark tan and tan with some highly illegal techniques. There is a slingshot on the back of the mech as well, and that pretty much completes this one, and I really like it. It's a different just overall shape than what I normally get out of these mechs. It's a very wide mech and a very short mech, but I think it's a really cool mech too, and it shows that cool stuff can come from even the most forgotten of LEGO themes. Anyway, let's move on to the final mech of the video. Minecraft is LEGO's longest running video game theme, with sets releasing for over 10 years now. And it's had a lot of them, almost 150, from humble beginnings with these micro idea sets to whatever these things are. So of course I had to build a Minecraft mech for this video. And let's be real, it was only ever gonna be for one man. Ol' Stevie boy. Can I say something rather uncontroversial for once? Steve's got a kind of boring character design. Grey shoes, purple trousers, and a blue shirt. Whoop-de-doo. I know in the game you can put different armors on him and stuff, but he still has the same general shape. It's just squares. Now, I know that's how the game works, but that's not going to be able to function in this mech. So I decided to take a different approach. Because, like in the Isabelle mech, where I was kind of going for accuracy as the main thing, I just wanted to have a little bit of fun with Steve. That's going to get taken out of context. What I mean by that is that I wanted to make the top half of this mech kind of crazy. Because you've probably noticed that I haven't talked about the bottom half at all, it's just been spinning and building itself. So it was basically the case of me pouring out all my Dark Azure parts and figuring, right, let's see how we can use all of the weirdest ones on this mech. And that started right here with the front chest plate, which didn't actually exist in the regular Dark Azure, so I had to improvise by using parts such as the mudguard from an ice cream truck and the nose of this jet plane. I wanted to make this mech look as armoured up and as strong as possible, and I think I've done that here. I really like Steve's head just barely popping out of the top. The next thing to do was add the arms, and they are hench. I did want to keep some of the squareness of Minecraft somewhere in the mech, and I basically did that with the hands, just keeping them as 2x2 blocks. I also think this is one of the strongest backsides of any mech I've built as well. Right, now that one's really going to get taken out of context. What I mean is that it's just well covered up. And with some final finishing touches, and by that I mean giant wings, the mech's done. They almost give it this Gundam style look, which I think's really cool, and I don't even know if I'm using that word properly, but I'm just going to go with it. I've also given him a giant oversized pickaxe as a weapon, because I had to do something that actually linked back to Minecraft. I hope you're not too upset with how far away from the actual theme I've gone with this one, but I just think it's a really cool look. And at the end of the day, it's just a bit of fun. And there you have it. And that's how I turned these 3 regular minifigures from 3 different video game universes into these 3 giant battle mechs. Super happy with how all 3 of these came out, but I actually think the Angry Birds one's my favourite. Something about those legs, man. But make sure to let me know which one your favourite is in the comments. There's still a lot of video game franchises that LEGO have made sets on that I haven't covered here, so let me know which one you want me to do next in the comments. And until next time, I don't know, game on!